In this installment of decades-old TV memory box, Sex and the City, the ladies are saying yes. Yes to life. Yes to love. Yes to making decisions that will ruin their lives 20 years down the line in sequel series and just like that. So say yes to liking and subscribing, and let's get into it. In a sign that karma may well exist, Carrie finds out that her building is going co-op. And surprise! She can't afford to buy her apartment. But clock her sudden, apparently undisguisable interest when Aidan announces that he has the money to buy it for them both. Carrie's tempted for 3 reasons. 1, they spend almost every night together anyway. 2, they're in love. And 3, she can't be arsed to move. The holy trinity of good decision making. Although, if we're going to point the finger at someone making terrible calls in this episode, the prize really does have to go to Aidan, when Carrie discovers an engagement ring hidden in his stuff. Her gut reaction to this is not ideal. Nor is her reaction to the apparently disgusting ring a pear-shaped diamond with a gold band, selected by Miranda, which Carrie takes as a sign that Aidan isn't right for her. And look, as many past commenters have managed to work out, I am a man, so perhaps I just don't get this. But if you're gonna write a guy off based on his choice of jewelry, when he's writing off your infidelity and complete absence of adult life skills, then you should probably go and f*** yourself. Just saying. Trouble is, it's crystal clear from the off that Carrie doesn't want to say yes, and for once, it's for legitimate reasons. It is too soon. There is still too much unresolved from their breakup. She is 5'3" of garbage, held together by sequins and a thin veil of cigarette smoke. And that's when, sensing the pheromonal distress call which Carrie secretes whenever she self-sabotages, Big reappears. Just a happy coincidence, he eerily swears, which does lend a sinister vibe to his later brag that he and his driver spend all day picking up and dropping off women. I assume picking them up outside of all-girls colleges and dropping them off the end of the nearest pier. Aidan's eventual choice of proposal venue is the middle of the street while his dog's taking a shit, which seems appropriate. The old ring is temporarily retired in favour of a square-cut diamond on a silver band, courtesy of Samantha. Of course, Sam may not have wasted the effort had she known what this apparently perfect ring is ultimately destined for. Get your neck chains and lame excuses ready. Charlotte's taking it in the butt. Hormone injections, that is. Trey apparently disapproves of the treatment, claiming,
"You've got more hormones in you than a teenage boy."
Fantastic grasp of endocrinology there. Let's definitely allow that guy to be a doctor. It's during this episode that you might begin to wonder whether Charlotte's been binging 24, because there's a distinctly Jack Bauer, by any means necessary vibe to her actions.
Who are you working for?
Firstly, there's her admission that she's been turning their building's elevator into the Tower of Terror by interrogating innocent residents about their reproductive success rate. Secondly, there's the breezy reveal that she's signed she and Trey up to adopt a baby from China, without talking to him about it first. And if Trey doesn't understand hormones, he's got nothing on Charlotte's concept of race.
Since we're both dark-haired, people won't immediately know that she's not ours.
All of this comes to a head at the MacDougall's annual Highland Fling, an event you can't help but suspect falls somewhere between Get Out and Midsommar. That's where Sharpay that made a wish to become human, mother-in-law Bunny, stages her reappearance. For starters, Bunny asks Charlotte,
"Do you know anything about clans?"
which must have sent her into a panic, wondering who could have recognised her through the eye holes at her last meeting. What Bunny really wants to discuss, though, is a different kind of racial tension. Namely, the one she's feeling at the prospect of an adopted Asian grandchild. An extremely bold attitude during what boils down to a rich people cosplay convention where the nearest any of the guests have come to being Scottish is throwing up on a haggis. After a bit of conversational murder on the dance floor, Trey finally admits that he doesn't want children after all, which is both the most relatable I've ever found him and unsurprising, since Charlotte has basically reduced his role down to being a baby gravy delivery system. And so the McDougals are left in limbo, each now acutely aware that neither wants what the other does. As Carrie succinctly summarises, the question is how you know when things aren't right. You wait 2 more episodes. That's how. The Richard Wright saga continues this episode, with him managing to go 20 whole seconds in his first scene without trying to make the nearest woman cry. In a rare moment of human empathy, presumably the single one he allows himself per decade, as a treat, he notices that Samantha's upset. Rather unwisely, if you ask me, she admits to what's bothering her.
Why does everybody have to get married and have kids? It's so cliche.
To which I say, try being a childless gay guy trapped between men with Peter Pan syndrome and women firing out babies so fast you have to dodge them like you're in the Matrix. Richard, who 2 episodes ago had a huge rod up his ass about Samantha's historical humping of his architect, apparently has less of an issue with workplace relationships if he's the one inspecting a woman's blueprints. Because he's a One quick airport transfer later, and Richard is atop Ms. Jones on a private jet to Brazil, well on his way to making a transfer of his own. Spare a thought for evidently long-suffering flight crew member Dwight, who has the haunted look of a man who's spent a few too many nights crawling around that cabin with a blacklight and a bucket of bleach. After deciding not to send baby Brady on his first and last vacation in the previous episode, Miranda's left with a dilemma. While she could choke Steve with her umbilical cord and he still wouldn't work out that she's up the duff on his own, her decision to raise what is almost certainly his baby means she feels obligated to tell him. Her delivery method,
You want sprinkles?
Steve, I'm pregnant.
leaves something to be desired, a problem she'll hopefully rectify by her due date. Her description of their proposed parenting arrangement could do with some workshopping too, because what she says sounds an awful lot like the baby's in jail. No financial obligation and as many visits as Steve can be bothered with before he loses interest. Steve later makes a proposal of his own, rocking up at Miranda's door one night with the ring she chose for Carrie. I'm gonna guess that when he ran through a list of hypothetical outcomes beforehand, he probably wasn't expecting,
What are you crazy?
Turns out it's another of Steve's huge, immature overreactions, like an angry toddler with access to an unlocked gun cabinet. What he really wants to communicate is that he wants to co-parent their baby, proving once and for all that he has the decision-making skills of an especially stupid moth. Carrie muses that Miranda knows that Steve isn't a good fit as a partner, but is as a father, which you can either take as short-sighted writing or an exceptional piece of foreshadowing, depending on whether you want the story of this relationship to end with a happy ever after or a screaming orgasm in a kitchen while a disabled woman wets herself in the next room. Dealer's choice. This video's question is, what's your proposal story? Did it go right? Wrong? Sideways? Did you nope out when you felt it coming like Carrie should have? Let me know in the comments below, and if any of yours top mine, maybe I'll share it next time. Either way, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, if you can't be good, be crusty.